Hi, my name is Daniel.
And I'm Gaby.
We met working for the same company. We work as contractors for a remodeling company. She had the same position as I had, and I invited her for coffee a couple of times until she finally accepted, and that's how we met.
So if you know anything from the political climate in Cuba, you know that religion was forbidden, not practiced, even to this day. It's been a very difficult process. So I was brought up in a family that was almost entirely atheist, but I never really had a relationship with God. I never really knew if God existed. He was always the big question in my mind. And we had talked about our faith, but never really looking into it, never really wanting to ask that question, who is God? Who is Jesus? Do we want to have that relationship? Do we want to be put on that spot where you need to evaluate your life and really look at the way you've been living and wanting to make those changes? It's always uncomfortable. So,
I know it was a hard time. I was feeling really lonely, even though I had Gaby by my side and we were together. It was a lot of struggle. And I never felt that closeness of God. Like Jesus wasn't in my life. I knew he existed. I know he was there, but I never had that personal relationship with him.
So fast forward a couple of years later, we were still together in 2021, driving down Palmer Lane here in Austin. And we were on our way to sign off on what would be our first home. We were on the phone going over numbers with our lender, and that's when it happened. I was driving and I failed to see that the light in front of me had turned red. And so I hit the truck in front of me. Luckily, it wasn't anything major. And when I got out of the car, I walked up and there was this elderly gentleman and his wife holding a couple of testaments, a couple of Gideon testaments, and they proceeded to, instead of yelling or screaming to us, they proceeded to share the gospel. They were by the side of a very busy highway during rush hour. It was just incredible. We had been talking about joining a church for a while. I guess God had other plans. So right there by the side of the road, Sam and Linda Showquist took the time to share the gospel with us. They told us about Hill Country Bible Church, and that's how we first heard about it. So we started this friendship, and they took us under their wing. They invited us over to their home. We helped them move, and then a couple weeks later, we were with them when we finally accepted Christ as our Savior, and we decided to start this journey. And in the following weeks, everything that happened after just kind of showed us that this is the right path and you're making the right decision. So everything changed around us.
I had the pleasure to baptize my wife. That's something I guess a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do. We had, this chance to celebrate together, to do it together, it's just a public declaration of, that you accepted Christ and you celebrate his life and you celebrate what he did for you. And the fact that we had the opportunity to do it together, that's really, really meaningful. I reflect a lot in 2 Corinthians 5:17. It's really the transformation that we had. I just feel that our old life was buried down and Christ gave us, a new light, a new opportunity, a new beginning. We just feel so blessed that he opened our eyes, and by grace, he just gave us a second chance. He gave us the opportunity to live a new life.